Hey boys, let me just make sure. I don't know what's happening with the audio lately, but my mic sometimes doesn't work, so I need to check myself on YouTube. Awesome. Also, I should start doing the gaming videos today. I'm very fucking tired. But this trial actually might get a verdict really quick. And if I mute it, I'm just talking to no one. Hold on. Alright, I think I heard myself a little bit too loud on the song, but that should be. So he did nothing wrong. We're gonna discuss that right quick. Let me just already. I think we're gonna go for a camera here. Let me see. Alright, guys. Do your bets. Am I gonna hit the right button this time? What's gonna be? What's gonna be? Let's just end the song here. Perfect. I was gonna do some copyrighted music, but let's see if we make this a video. And I got it this time. I got it. Boom! I'm not muted great, but I do look like I'm on the fucking Arctic. So I gotta change my coloring a little bit here. Is it properties? Alright, let's do this one. Actually, I might need this one instead. There you go. And... Woo! Where's the fucking... Excuse me for this. Ever since Logitech updated, this has been a mess. Also, I have the trial live, so anytime we get any updates, but it usually takes a long time. This could last until tomorrow, and not gonna stay here tomorrow, of course. But I might talk about the verdict, of course. Wait, where was I supposed to change the camera? There you go. Dumbass, alright. Look, 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 look. Boom. That's how we roll in this fucking stream. All warm and what you call it, fuzzy or whatever. See what happens? Like, I need to have exposure. This is dumb, but it is what it is. That glare, I'm sorry about that. How you doing, lol? How you doing, Link Park? How you all doing? All right, I'm gonna put the, there you go. Oh yeah, the fucking chat was a little bit switched off there, but that's fine. All right, so let's see what you guys talking about. So, as you can see, PBS, I like how PBS actually gets like likes, and I don't know about you, but I can still see the likes and dislikes. So I hope I don't update anytime soon, but it is what it is. PBS usually has really good ratios. Every other news doesn't, you know, on any kind of article, on any kind of news though, honestly. So you're gonna see by the percentage that pops here. So 23% CBC, 79. Well, it's actually fairly positive to some. But news usually have a really big dislike. But yeah, so let me see. Anytime I think of Kyle Rittenhouse, I hope I'm saying that shit right. I think of the South Park episode where Eric fed that kid his own parents. Holy shit. I never seen like I have so many series and shows to catch up to. And currently I'm on The Office, man. I'm not muted. There you go. Thank you so much. Love your hair. Always non-existent. That's how I like it. Hey, hello. How you doing, man? All right. So until we get, obviously we're not going to stand here and just be like, all right, let's hope we hear it. But I would like to see the hilarious situations, all right? There's a few people talking about this. I guess Destiny's also talking about it, but you know, it's one of those streams where there's a lot of I love that. There's a lot of people discussing at the same time, and I hate that shit. Yeah,
literally just I literally just said that.
So I don't see this happening today. All right. So that's that.
America gets support.
And again, we're not gonna wait, but I do want to see something that on this case was quite fucking hilarious, which was the prosecutor. I think as soon as you put prosecute, wait, what is this? Oh, it was one of the, yeah, okay. All right, you know what? Let's fucking do this, actually.
Now with an ABC
so I think this is one of the victims. Correct me if I'm wrong here, all right?
News exclusive.
Holy
now with
shit.
an ABC.
My guy has a goalpost. Also, tell me if the, now this one is I have to check because I've had issues lately with this.
ABC News exclusive.
Let me see. Also, I should start doing that. Alright, you know, correct me if I'm wrong here, right? Okay, we good. Now we good. I don't know how this fucking software works. But that's a goalpost between his teeth, man. What happened there? Poor guy.
With Gage Grosskreutz, the sole survivor shot by Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh my god, he got shot in the ears, dude. Look at those big ass holes, man. Poor guy.
After an explosive day in court with Rittenhouse breaking down on the stand, Grosskreutz joins us alongside his attorney, Kimberly Motley.
You guys need
an interview since his dramatic testimony.
Holy shit, there's a fucking ratio, man. This is why I like dislikes, man.
In the murder trial. Gage and Kimberly, thank you both so much for joining me this morning. And Gage, I want to start with you. You were shot in the arm by Kyle Rittenhouse during the protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin last year, while the other two men he shot that night died. With Rittenhouse taking the stand, what did you think of his testimony?
Well, I think anytime you see your would-be murderer on the stand, it's emotional.
And what was your reaction?
Excuse me, let me just get some background, because I think this was the guy that was carrying the gun, or no, that was the other Baumhaus or whatever the fuck was it. Like the last names on these cases are beautiful. I love them. It's YouTube, like some. So he was a victim, but was he the one who was armed? So he was a survivor. There you go. I was trying to preserve my own life. That was Kyle saying. And was this motherfucker who like the prosecutor asked, so, or I'm sorry, the defense attorney was like, all right, so did you aim the gun beforehand? And he just admitted that was like when the prosecution. Let me see if there's a fucking face palm. That was such a beautiful moment, man. Let's rewatch that. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the stuff. Oh, shit. Man, come on. Can someone give me the fucking facepalm moment? Do you guys have the video? I mean, he did get pierced. You can't say that shit didn't work out. Ah, okay, so there you go. This will do. This is not really the facepalm part, or is it? I think it
After
is.
you raised your hands like this...
Also, an AR-15 is a 5.56. That would make sense. I'm just asking.
So after you raised your hands like this, you saw the defendant re-rack the weapon?
Correct.
What did you think was going to happen?
In my experiences and in my inference in that moment, for the defendant had pointed his weapon at me and I had put my hands in the air. Re-racking the weapon, in my mind, meant that the defendant pulled the trigger while my hands were in the air, but the gun didn't fire.
101 on trying to not look that you rehearse this shit. Don't start looking around and making pauses like you're talking on a TEDx talk or something like that, all right? This is, I'm not gonna say it's fake or whatever, but this is like, I know they rehearse a lot of these answers and shit like that, but this is terrible. If I was part of the jury, I'd be like, okay.
So then
Look at it.
but the gun didn't fire.
Come on, bro.
So then by re-racking the weapon, I inferred that the defendant wasn't accepting my surrender.
Did you feel that
He's
he
nervous,
was
yeah.
going to point the gun and shoot at you again?
Yes.
What did you do then?
So after the defendant had re-racked his weapon with the rifle still aimed at me,
Jesus.
in that moment, I felt that I had to do something to try and prevent myself from being killed or being shot or killed.
Mr. Grosskreutz, after seeing the defendant shoot at one person at close range twice, shoot at Mr. Huber in the chest once, and having already been told by others in the crowd that he'd previously already shot someone else, and having him point the gun at you, and you're holding your own pistol in your hand, why didn't you take your own gun and shoot the defendant first?
Like I said, that's not the kind of person that I am. That's not why I was out there. That's not why I was out there for 75 days.
Wait. So he asked, why didn't you, because the narrative they're trying to drive here is that it would be self-defense if he shot it, right? Because they're saying like it was Kyle, the defendant, that was scaring people, he was being the aggressor, yada, yada, yada. So this guy pulling the gun would mean that, you know, he would act on self-defense. Now, he's not the kind of guy to use self-defense, and why the fuck are you carrying a weapon, right? This is not to say that he shouldn't be carrying a weapon. He has as much right to carry a weapon as Kyle is. But you're not the kind of guy to use the gun that you carry, then why'd you carry the gun? I mean, at least Kyle was like, yeah, I took my gun for protection and I had to use it. This guy is like, no, I'm not the kind of guy. Doubt, right? Why you're carrying a gun then? It's completely fine, but these are the little things that the prosecution, I don't know if they rehearsed this shit. I would hope they didn't, because that would be embarrassing if they did. But didn't you think this through?
Prior
and shoot the defendant.
Let's hear that again. So that it's not like this is just not me.
And you're holding your own pistol in your hand. Why didn't you take your own gun and shoot the defendant first?
Oh, first. Okay. All right. Maybe.
Like I said, that's not the kind of person that I am. That's not why I was out there. That's not why I was out there for 75 days prior to that. Why I spent, up until that point, spent my time, my money, my education, providing care for people. It's not who I am. And definitely not somebody that I would want to become. And
all right, but that was like the fucking facepalm moment, man. I know this isn't bullshit because I saw it on an official transcript. Oh, that's saucy there. All right, we can see this one. I think everyone saw this shit. Like, regardless if you think he's a hero or like if he's guilty, not guilty, whatever. The prosecution was god awful. I didn't study law, okay? But I don't think you need to study law to understand when a train wreck is happening, okay? When the judge himself has to step up and be like, why are you creating so much fucking speculation around this? We already disclosed that this evidence wouldn't be discussed based on, let's say, unjust premises. Yet, it still does. That's not a good that's not a good lawyer. Even if you're on defense, on prosecution, it doesn't work. Okay. So Kyle is a hero. No, people calling Kyle a hero are disgusting. I wouldn't say people are disgusting, but I would say that he's not a hero. Here's where the nuance guy becomes shocker. I always look for the nuance. He's not a hero, but he's not deranged either. I think that when it comes to him going there with a gun as a 17-year-old, which I think the gun was illegal, whatever, like those are different charges. Those are what so-called lesser charges. I'm not going to discuss those because as an European, I don't even understand why you carry long guns. But considering the law, considering what you guys have in your culture, that was self-defense, okay? Should he have been there in a situation of like defending a business? Bro, let it burn down. I'm pretty sure if you have insurance, it's going to be fine. I understand it hurts, but why trade your life for that shit or trade lives for that shit? But I can't say that this guy caused it all when it was like the people who were rioting and this guy was carrying a gun. You clearly know not to mess with a guy with a gun. And in this situation, you didn't go there and started fucking pointing the gun at everyone. It had it strapped. It was pointing side. It wasn't pointing to anyone. It wasn't being threatful. At some point, people, and this was confirmed by evidence, and which I can't show you right now, of course, for obvious reasons, but it was provided by evidence and testimonies that he didn't initiate any of this contact. He took a gun, but a gun is not an invitation for violence, right? I understand what you might think, that you're not comfortable around a gun. That's completely different. But when it comes to the US law, or at least in that state, It was, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's legal considering that he had an illegal firearm and shit like that, but it doesn't, at the very least, grant or let's say warrant a reaction of trying to take the fucking gun away from an armed man. Don't fucking do that, because it's not a wild stretch to think that you're gonna use that gun against that person. The fuck, man. Every time, like, there's a lot of unjustified shootings, but when a cop, you see the footage of a cop getting his gun taken away, bro, I don't even care if the person pulled the trigger or not. If someone takes a gun, fair to assume that the shit is loaded, they might use it against me. And it was an action they committed. It wasn't a reaction, it was an action. So in that regard, man, I can't blame him for that. But he's not a hero per se. I think it was stupid. And it was a stupid move. But was he free to do what he did in a situation of self-defense? Yeah, I do think so. If you have a gun, you must be willing to either defend yourself or cause harm. Wait, in my opinion, for you, if you have a gun, you must be willing to either... Yeah, I understand but that's where the situation of, like, I didn't want to, but I had to thing comes along. How is he not a hero? He assisted the community and protected the business from garbage humans. Again, I wouldn't jeopardize. Like, let fucking business goes down. I understand family businesses and all that. And usually insurance is not, like, a really good solution, as you may know, but I don't know. It was a situation that could have been avoided, but again, I don't think it was Kyle that created it. Just because he took a gun there doesn't mean he was creating the fucking environment, which was already, you know, cars on fire, people destroying shit, putting gas stations on fire. Like, come on. Incredibly dangerous, by the way. Fucking who was a dumbass who thought, like, yeah, let's burn down a gas station. That should be good. Let's make this look like fucking Afghanistan, Desert Firestorm or some shit. Jesus. Yeah, you can go there if you want. It's right not to do not disappear because you don't like the location he was in. Yeah. He had as much right as anyone else around. Now, was he pretending to be a cop, a vigilante, all that kind of shit? You already know what I feel about vigilantes and stuff like that. Like, this is not Batman. And stop. Listen, I understand you might have good intentions, but in the end of the day, you might cause a situation on yourself that you really didn't need to. Because let's see, if you do think he's guilty, put this into perspective, that even if he does feel bad for shooting and he really didn't mean any of this, it's still something that you'll never forget. If he's genuine about his emotions, it's still bad for him. Like, for business, trading that for business. Business have insurance. There were cops. The cops. We already talked about the insurance and the cops thing. All right, cops are limited, as you may know. We go to extremes. All right, we do have bad cops, but then when cops do the right thing, they might lose their jobs and go to jail as well. In my country, for example, police doesn't even try to stop these acts. They can literally see people fight in a crowd. They will not intervene because they know they get a lawsuit on their hands if. I don't know, all it takes is one kick that people don't like and you're fucking gone. Your pension gone, your future gone. You will never ever be able to do what you like, which is to be a police. Like, cops, being a cop presence is not really that much of a big deal in riots. Nobody asked him to be there, but again, no one forbid, like, it wasn't prohibited for him. There was like a curfew, I understand, but that has to do with COVID, not really to do with safety reasons when it comes to the riots, because no one should be rioting. I think that was the biggest illegal shit happening. He needs to at least be held accountable. Again, I would understand that if he created the situation, which he didn't. All right, carrying a gun where it is legal in the United States does not warrant that shit. Kyle did not pull the gun first. The evidence and testimony proved that he reacted, did not act. For walking away that night and leaving 3 people in a pool. The walking away shit. I don't know, man. You want them to... So imagine the situation, which is actually not hard to imagine because that's what happened. You just shot 3 people. And the crowd that they affiliated with, which is 10,000 motherfuckers against you, They want your ass. You're carrying a gun. If you don't need those 10,000 people, you get 3 people on you, they will get the gun and shoot it on you, right? I'm not gonna ask Kyle or anyone else to stay there as if people were understandable, like, oh, what was a self-defense? Okay, guys, clear out. They're not gonna do that shit. I'm not gonna ask them to stay in the fucking location where most likely he's gonna get jumped, because that was already happening. So no, that environment wasn't created by him. It was created by the riot mobs, right? It's on video, yes, it is. I'm not gonna show you the video, guys. Streams and shit, but please watch it. I mean, if you have the guts, I guess. The prosecutor was the one defending themselves. Was the one? Wait, what? The prosecutor wasn't there. Kyle was aimed onto the victim already. No. Again, the dude is guilty. We'll see. You know, I'm not the fucking jury. I'm not a judge. So that verdict will. I'm gonna hold judgment, I guess. Rosenbaum got a well-deserved dirt nap. I don't wish death on anyone, regardless of how stupid he was. He did not initiate confrontation. That is correct. You're a strange little man. I'm 182. Please respect that. What is that in American fucked up metric? What is it? 5'11" or something like that? Rosenbaum and other attackers threatened his life first. Kyle acted only to preserve his own safety. Yeah. And again, if that was a case, prosecution fucked it up. What are your thoughts on the prosecution claims that he should have fought? He should have fought? Wait, what? I want to see that. I don't know if they make clips of these. Prosecution. Nah, it's gonna be a full video. I doubt they're making edits. But let me see. Fighting. Rosenbaum, that's how it's called. Yeah, it's 40 minutes, like it's a full thing. But okay, assuming that that is correct, right? I'm basing myself on this comment. I don't know for sure. I didn't see that. But they said that the prosecution claimed that he should have fought Rosenbaum. Bro. There's like people who expect, I don't know, people to look into the barrel. They're going to be like, yeah, it's unloaded. That's not realistic, right? People are not going to look. It's not like in the movies where they're going to look the trigger. Oh, he's squeezing, let's act. That's Hollywood. That doesn't happen. So fighting an armed man or whatever, bruh. Or actually, rather, not use your gun as a deterrence, instead start punching a guy. Because people think that, you know, punching someone might not take to death or something like that. It's less lethal, but you can still kill someone with fucking mere violence. I don't know if people understand that. Man had no business way over there, wanted to go good old boy. Yeah, I don't think like the whole vigilante move was dumb, but it still doesn't make him guilty of considering the self-defense thing. People have been beaten up by mobs like this. Like I was saying, yeah, Kyle was smart not to stick around. I would not ask anyone to stick around. No matter what I feel about that person, what they did, you're gonna get jumped by a mob. A mob is not someone who you reason with. That's the definition of a mob. Saying Kyle shouldn't have been there is victim blaming. Yeah, I talked that in my video. But yeah, you know, just because people think that exercising. I have a terrible accent on that word. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say that using your rights, or you know. Let me build this in a better way. A lot of people will say this kind of shit, and even though I understand where they come from, you can't trust in that argument too much. Which is, if I was a girl or whatever, assuming that situation, for example, I would not wear a skirt knowing the risks. I agree with you. If I was a girl, I would not do that. It's kind of like what people say being realistic. However, we still can't ignore the fact that women that do have the right to wear a skirt. That is not an invitation whatsoever. They can go there to have a good time. And when I mean a good time, I mean this stream is going to be demonetized either way, but you already know what I'm saying. But even if she is there for that purpose, that doesn't mean that anyone can just approach it like, you're wearing a skirt, you're showing a lot. That's clear invitation. So someone having a gun. One thing is if you point in a gun. This would be comparable to the girl starting to grind on some guy or whatnot, because he has the same right to say, like, please don't fucking do this. She doesn't even have a right to do that in the first place. But that was not the case, okay? Kyle did not start grinding a dude. Kyle was there with a gun. Was it a dumb move to be there with a gun? Would I do that shit? Of course not. Vigilante to me does not work. Or vigilantism. Yeah. I gotta practice these, alright? Guys, suffer with me. Vigilantism. No, wait, what? I know how to say that word. But being a vigilante doesn't work. Right? Adapt. Overcome. Being a vigilante doesn't work, and I understand that I would not be in that position as well. But that doesn't give the people the right to start taking away the gun. I don't understand why people miss that point. How can they miss that point? That being there does not mean that you're automatically a threat. Considering the law and the culture in the United States, that maybe in Portugal, right? Because it's illegal. You just can't have that. But even that, fuck it out. Let's pick up Portugal, right? Strict gun laws. Even if someone is armed in the middle of the street, that doesn't mean automatically can shoot them. Even in fucking Portugal. Call the police. That's what they will say. Now, if you tell me, oh, it's unrealistic, and this is where we start, I guess, a conflict of cultures, right? But I am assuming yours, the American culture. I don't personally think that him being with a gun there is an invitation to create violence, to create problems, and that you have to be the one disarming him. Because if you bring me the argument, I guess this would be a good way to put it. If you bring me the argument of him being a vigilante is dumb, then that also falls onto the other people. It would also be very dumb for you to be the hero who tries to disarm the armed man. Let's imagine that he was guilty. Like, you're also trying to play hero there. So the argument goes both ways, honestly. It's a double-edged sword. At least in my opinion. I'll need water, man. And I'm sorry if I'm not playing any videos, but I like chat. Where was I? Okay, so the victim blaming shit, again, I don't think just because he has a gun it's an invitation for anything. It was created by him. How is that for 2 months nobody died or got shot? Again, you're assuming that his presence was a catalyzer when it was. I mean, you can tell me that it was a catalyzer, but you can't tell me that ethically this falls on him. Because if all it takes, I don't know, let me bring another situation if you guys not enjoying that one. I don't know, man. We're gonna have to go with something heavy, honestly. But I guess let's imagine in the neighborhood there's been no crimes when it comes to homophobia. But then all of a sudden, even though there has been clearly gay people in a certain neighborhood, but let's imagine that a certain gay person who is very stereotypical, very like flashy, let's say, moves into the neighborhood. All of a sudden, this neighborhood starts having a lot of like reported attacks of homophobia and shit like that because this guy moved in. Would you tell me that it is his fault for moving into a neighborhood and inviting troubles? Inviting trouble? Are you really gonna blame on the person who happens to be there? Not being threatful, not actually causing a ruckus. Ruckus? Is that a word? Creating an issue. I don't know where I heard that. Are you seriously going to blame that person instead of the mob who went like, let's take away his gun. Let's do something, even though he's not just acting, right? Let's do the first motion ourselves. That's not going to fly anywhere. So it wasn't really, you can tell me that he was a catalyzer, but that doesn't mean that he is the one to blame. Because people did not know how to react to the situation itself. Those people are the issue. Cross said in closing, sometimes you just gotta take a beating. Damn. So he's trying to state that he's not the kind of guy yet he's armed. Yeah, that's what I was... How you doing, Mary? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm sorry if the chat is a little bit delayed, but I'm trying to give importance to each comment here. I like to talk, you already know. Comparing a girl going to a party to have fun to a guy with a rifle is not a smart take. You think it is. All right, then present me. I'm completely fine with you denying that, but please present me where the, let's say, premise, when there's a distinction between premises. Because I already made the argument to compare them. So far, I haven't found anyone in the fucking comments telling me this is why it doesn't work. Saying something, what is it? I love that expression. Saying so doesn't mean it's so. No, I completely fucked that up. Oh man, what is it? I guess you guys watch my streams because of that, because I always fuck up expressions somehow. Saying so doesn't make it so. There you go. God damn it. Sorry. With the police standoff, using standoff policies, well-meaning citizens will fill the vacuum. I don't feel like that should be the case. Like, that means that the system has a hole, but that doesn't mean that Kyle is the one. He shouldn't even be the one filling that hole. Yeah, sure, no analogy is 1000 accurate. That's why it's an analogy. People have this terrible idea that an analogy will be a direct comparison when it comes to like every single point. No. In fact, the point of an analogy is to sometimes to bring a much severe case so that you can understand through your own perspective that flipping the situation, all of a sudden you have a different opinion. That's why analogy is used most of the times. A vigilante, a vigilante carries out justice independent from law. Kyle didn't do that. He just shot attackers. No vigilantism. No, I will not say that word. It's banned. But I guess some of that, I mean, a true vigilante would have a cape, honestly. That's what I'm going to go with. Okay, this might be an unpopular point, but the town criers, the people that led others to believe that he was a threat. Yeah, that's called, what is it? Not enticing. Instigators. Being somewhere you shouldn't doesn't change the accountability of the events that occur. Mary should be charged. Those that rushed and believed that they were stopping a possible mass shooter should be charged. Wait, the first one is regarding who should be charged. Those that rushed them believe they were stopping a possible mass shooter should be charged. I mean, yeah, I guess some people were caught in that crossfire of, no pun intended, of thinking that this guy was I've seen a lot of situations where a guy actually saves the day, let's say it, and he gets shot because the guy who was reacting didn't know he wasn't the aggressor, that guy was. That's why I don't believe that guns really do bring safety. I will say this, I don't, regardless of me defending him, that doesn't mean that I believe that guns are a solution, but considering your guy's cultures and shit. I believe Kyle was there premeditated. You believe. That's the point. That's what the prosecution heavily relied on, and that's why they took a beating, honestly. They believed in a lot of things. He was there to shoot people. Again, you cannot make that point. It's going to be speculation. The crowd, because if you're going to do that, you're going to bring the crowd into play, and if their intention was to harm other people because they were putting shit on fire, then there's a point for self-defense automatically. Understand what I'm saying? Be consistent. So if you look and you take that argument to one side to take it to the other. If you think that he was there to harm people, then the rioters who were there were to harm people. And Kyle was involved in those people. It's, again, a double-edged sword. You really can't win. The crowd has no justification to chase Kyle. I would understand, again, the confusion, but again, that isn't the same as a woman going to a party to smoke weed or something stupid. I didn't say the weed thing. That's not it. But again, elaborate, please. Should be charged, because I'm obviously not saying there's exactly the same situation, because it isn't. But that's the purpose of analogies. They have to be different situations, otherwise it wouldn't be an analogy. Should be charged. Those who rushed him. Oh wait, I'm already reading that. Oh, best thing for them to do would be to alert the authorities. I defend that as well. Heroes, yeah, I don't think there was any heroes. The crowd is heroes, nope. Oh yeah, saying kill him, yeah, the threats and shit. He was there pushing people with a big gun. He could have been there helping without the gun. Your second point, I don't have anything to say. I do think that he could be there helping with no gun. I would not even go there in the first place, honestly. But pushing around, that's a really loose argument from what I've seen in the videos. Because it's the thing that he was talking about, like, you know, I was actually saying, you know, he was, what you call it? De-escalating shit is true. Again, the gun thing, if he was like, back up with the gun, I would understand what you're saying, but it wasn't the case. I'm saying those that rushed to help prevent violence. Jesus, I'm not reading properly today. Yeah, so Kyle only shot people once excuse me. Kyle only shot once people started attacking him. He even ran away first until he ripped and fell, and the attackers reached him. Yeah. Rushed him, no, not assault. I'm saying those that rushed to. Okay. Why am I reading duplicates? What the fuck? Alright, let me just watch the video, man. I feel like I'm too stagnant here with the videos.
Correct.
I need a water too.
So you understand that there's a difference between using deadly force to protect yourself and using it to protect property, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that. Here's what. This is the signature move of the prosecutor. Listen to it again, carefully.
Correct. So you understand that there's a difference between using deadly force to protect yourself and
also, I'm sorry. How much alcohol or do they fucking need? God damn it, like, wouldn't this be enough?
Correct. So you understand that there's a difference between using deadly force to protect yourself and using it to protect property, correct?
Yes.
See, so I don't know if he was trying to build something there, but what's the relevance of this? Clearly, there's a difference. But when he shot people, he wasn't really shooting people that were hitting a window. He started shooting when they started chasing him or threatening him and shit like that, which goes beyond defending property. I think at that point it is defending himself. I don't know what the judge will say, but...
Mr. Richards?
Your Honor, Mr. Binger is either forgetting the court's rulings or attempting to provoke a mistrial in this matter. He knows he can't go into this, and he's asking the questions. I asked the court to strongly admonish him, and the next time it happens, I'll be asking for a mistrial with prejudice. He's an experienced attorney, and he knows better.
Mr. Binger?
What the fuck?
Holy
This
shit.
was the subject.
Holy shit. Thank you so much. Goddamn, I've been missing those super chats. Thank you so much. Hugo Pereira. There you go. Perfect accent. Why? I'm Portuguese. I think you already know. No matter what happens, US will be more divided, of course. This is ridiculous and is a lose-lose no matter what jury comes back with. I 100% agree. And I'll continue to read your chat, guys, but I really don't want to make it boring, so I'm trying to play some videos. But man, you guys are fucking shooting it. No pun intended again. I'm sorry. I can't bring a lot of expressions with... I love guns and games. I mean, guns in games, but... So I'm going to have a lot of those expressions. I do like guns. I don't like the usage of guns in the United States, but I do like the engineering, and I think guns can be pretty cool. But the situation kind of proves it that it's chaotic. And someone said it, I think it was LOL, that said it, you know, they just make it worse. I completely agree there. Where the fuck was I? God damn. Okay. Analogies are shit. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not the first guy using analogies, nor the only one. What you want me to do, man? I didn't invent analogies. If you don't like them, I guess that's a you issue, man. Can't do anything about it. Okay. Alright, Kyle didn't push. Oh, wait. He was there pushing people with a big gun again. The pushing is... No, what happened? Rushed them, not assault. Okay, I read that. I've been hitting... Okay, I've been hit. I think I was here. I've been hit all over my body multiple times with a skateboard when I was his age, and I tried to kill someone. Here's a direct comparison. All right, so this is perfect. All right, there's a difference between an analogy, which is a situation that I made up with, even though couldn't be based on real cases, of course, because of course it happened. And then this, right? There's a direct comparison, and I don't think a skateboard is. I mean, because here's the thing: if you've been hit multiple times in the body with a skateboard, assuming that someone wanted to harm you, then you could make the argument that you can also cause harm on them for them to stop. Not even after, right? Just because someone hits you on the skateboard, and this is not what happened, and then they back off and you keep on. Now, of course, that's going to be assault and shit, but again, you don't have to be there to take it, right? You're not necessarily trying to kill someone because they're not trying to kill you. But someone stealing your gun, I don't think they're going to shoot your knee, okay? Especially considering that they are not trained. Prevent violence by inciting violence. I understand. I agree with that shit. Hey, only saw now. I'm sorry. How you doing there? Thank you for the 5 again. €5. There wasn't just a guy with a skateboard, though. There were like 2 others. Again, you need to consider the mob. Even an unarmed mob, it's gonna fuck you up. Skateboards can be used as a weapon to kill self-defense. Yeah, you can hit that person. I don't know what you think, but if someone hits you with a skateboard, yes, you can absolutely pound on them. And again, if you're gonna be like, oh, what if I had a gun? Could I use it? No, because you're not being proportional. But you having a gun, you're telling people back off, and they try to steal your shit. It's quite different. So you're saying Kyle should have left the beating happen. There you go. I'd have tried to stop a mass shooter. Those people who died were actually heroes. Nah. Again, because you need to consider who created this domino effect. It was one of those heroes. There was no heroes. 3 guys on total, 1 with a skateboard, 1 other went to the gun, and the 3rd pulled a gun on him. Jesus, video is so clear cut. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a case of like, what you want me to say? It was a huge escalation, but... And the 3rd actually pulled a gun. Who was the second? Who was the survivor? Was the 3rd or the 2nd? That guy we just saw. But yeah, I do agree. There you go. Guns make every situation worse. Of course, I agree. We can speak on his intent. I agreed. The guy threatened to kill Kyle. Now that we do know that was a fact because he literally said it. It's like a hate crime, you know? You know it's a hate crime when the words start pouring in and you go like, that's the reasoning. But just because, you have for example, a black victim and a white aggressor, or even the opposite, that doesn't make it automatically hate crime. But once you start, the transcript starts reading some, let's say, ill-intended words, that makes it hate crime. So when one thing is being violent with someone, another thing is you literally saying, I'm going to kill you or some shit like that, or those variations, that's a threat. Open carry state. There's literally a video that shows a fight. Yes, I'm not going to show it again. Can't. Why are 3 people chasing after a guy with a gun? That was also not smart. To me, there was stupidity and failures on all sides. Aleem, there you go. From the police to the protesters to the armed civilians to Rittenhouse himself. It was chaotic. I do agree with that. Absolutely. People who were in over their heads try to play heroes and kill unnecessarily or got themselves killed unnecessarily. It was a power the catalyzed, like I said. Kid defends his life against someone with criminal past he instantly regrets. Or with criminal, okay. People legit thought, that was a reference of a joke, guys. People legit thought it was a threat and fight or flight is real. It was a dumb decision. Some had good reason, thinking they were protecting others. Yeah, I do think there was a moment of confusion at the very least. All right, so check out Larry Lawton, Jesus. Wait, what? Wait, isn't that the guy? Am I confusing that shit? Isn't that the guy who? Yeah, the fucking jewelry robbery, isn't it? He talked about Rittenhouse. It is him. Oh, I didn't know that shit. All right, 26 minutes, but that's a good video. Let me just finish this one. God damn it.
I'm well aware of that.
All right, so in case you know, like, I'm not sure if it's already 1 hour, and I doubt
the
it's
court
gonna.
left the door open.
For me, not for you.
What? Wait,
My
hold
understanding
on.
of
You-
that.
Damn, they got.
First of all, Your Honor, this was the subject of a motion. I'm well aware of that. And the court left the door open.
What?
For me, not for you.
My understanding of
You should have come and asked for reconsideration. You did on the one motion, and in fact, I granted your motion for reconsideration.
That was not a motion.
Excuse me. I did. I granted.
We did not move
That
to
was
reconsider.
their motion.
We have not filed
forgive
any
me.
motions to reconsider
Forgive
in this
me.
case.
That was their motion for reconsideration, which I denied. But I said I denied it, or I indicated a bias.
You just
toward-
talk like Trump, man. Now I'm seeing that shit, man. It is like the speech thing is like, yeah. So he commented on post-arrest silence. He literally can't argue that as a fact. Yeah, that guy was going all over. He does seem like a douche, all right? And let's not profile people, but he seems like the kind of villain that they, the nerdy villain that they always put in movies. I'll be honest with that shit.
Towards denial is what I did. Held it open with a bias towards denial. Why would you think that that made it okay for you, without any advance notice, to bring this matter before the jury? You
In
are
case
already-
people understand, it's like when you see on television, you maybe see these scenes of some of a lawyer saying something that he shouldn't, and then he says like, withdrawn or whatever, right? It's seen as a dirty tactic, and judges usually don't like that shit, because even though it's clearly understood by this lawyer or whatever lawyer you're mentioning and did that kind of shit, I can't give it a specific example, right? I'm not too much of an expert on this, but I don't know, how can I exemplify why this is such a bad thing? It's like you are trying to make the jury biased by something that is not in evidence, but makes it seem like it. It was already understood that it shouldn't be brought up, but you still do it. And all of a sudden you go like, oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I withdraw, right? Now, technically, that's something that the court will dismiss, but the jury is still human, so they will take that into consideration at all times, right? Because people are humans. So even though it's like perjury thing, right? They don't usually rely on people actually promising shit, but it's supposed to be a situation of you can't say that shit, but the people or the lawyers will still do it because the juries will still have that bias, even though it was understood from the beginning they should have not said that, right? So this is why the judge is so fucking pissed, because even when he was warned to not bring certain evidence or certain premises, he fucking did. And that's terrible. Even logically, even outside of a court, you can't do that shit.
Eddie, I was astonished when you began your examination by commenting on the defendant's post-arrest silence. That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country.
You know that kind of shit that people say, hey, you have the right to remain silent. It's not an admission of guilt, right? This lawyer literally said, yeah, him being silent after the arrest shows everything. Bro, no lawyer can do that because that's literally breaking the Constitution, right? That's not something, the right to silence is something that every lawyer, not even just a lawyer, but every lawyer has to, it's 101. You come out of law school, you should know that, at least in the United States, that you have the right to fucking silence. So someone remaining in silence does not mean that they're guilty or anything like that. It's just silence. Silence to the law, it's not anything, right? It's not an admission of guilt. It's not, the opposite is nothing. It's neutral. It shouldn't be taken, it's a right. It shouldn't be taken as, oh, your jury, see, he's guilty because he didn't say anything after. He didn't answer if he was feeling bad or whatever. Like, you can't do that shit. That's incredibly bad. Oh, it's a Rand, yeah. So the third guy was a survivor. In every moment, Kyle only took action when his life was threatened. So reaction, like I was saying. Knowing the information has already registered with the jury, yeah. It's amendment number 5, is it? I played the 5th, yeah, it is. Protecting property that isn't yours sounds a lot like doing the job of local enforcement. Which sounds like, yeah. I understand what you're thinking, what you're saying. But I'm discussing the case of murder, which is the biggest one. Now, the lesser charges, you know, the curfew shit, the carrying the gun, him being 17, listen, he can be held, he could be considered guilty for those shits, and I wouldn't be really bothered by it. But we're talking about, as everyone else, talking about the murder cases, which is 3 people. And I don't think like he should be charged with that because he reacted. It was self-defense. It's literally a clear case of self-defense. Now, everything else, well, sure. You can tell me that maybe he deserves some jail time for carrying what was an illegal firearm and being 17. I'm pretty sure a 17-year-old can. It was an illegal gun. Of course he can't own it. The prosecutor is dumb and like, it was just bad. He destroyed the case if there was even any.
For 40 years, 50 years, I have no idea why you would do something like that. And it gives, well, I'll leave it at that. So I don't know what you're up to.
May I respond?
Yes.
We filed an other acts motion on this exact issue because, in my mind, and I argued this, it is identical to what was going on the night of August 25th, in the sense that the defendant was using this exact same weapon. He was using it in a manner to try and protect property.
No, he wasn't.
Your Honor, with all due respect...
I'm not going to rehash the motion. That's absolutely untrue. No.
Jesus.
Your arguments of record...
This man literally has the balls as a lawyer to lie to the fucking judge. Man, that's perjury. Like, I don't even know if lawyers are actually... They're not sworn in. I don't know. I'm pretty sure a lawyer can't lie. Right? So, what the fuck, man?
My comments are...
The charges for... The lesser charges were dismissed? Okay. Thank you so much. Stay hush until lawyer up. People who are innocent don't understand how detrimental. Yeah, I would say that. I'm not anti-police, for example. I actually like the police. I don't know if this is gonna sound silly to some of you, but I actually even like the police procedures and stuff like that. I play like LSPDFR, which is a mod for police in GTA 5. I really like the whole thing about the police and shit. But if I get confronted by the police, I'm not gonna be... This is not the same thing as being rude, but most questions that really don't need answering, where are you coming from? I'm not answering that. You can do this shit. This is not to make you sound more guilty. It's just because it's literally irrelevant information to the police. The only thing the police honestly can say, I don't know, it depends on your country, but here it applies, is, and some states don't have this because they're not stop and ID states. But in my country, for example, this is a reality. They can ask for ID, and if they ask for ID, you have to give them. Or a form of identity. That's it. Like you, for everything else, you can remain in silence. It's literally the God-given right. Even if you don't believe in God, you know what I'm saying here, right?
Are of record, and why I ruled as I did is of record. There's nothing that I heard in this trial to suggest anything's changed. Even if you're correct in your assumption that you know more than I did at the time, you should have come to the court and say, I want to go into this.
Yeah. So you have the right to remain silent. The first thing people say to you when arresting you. I learned Miranda rights from watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. All right, that's one way, I guess. But listen, seeing a lawyer dismiss say that silence, indicate that silence is an admission of guilt is just... I don't know, man. It would be like the Pope stripping or something. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. It goes against everything that you believe that the lawyer should be. In the case of the Pope, he shouldn't be a stripper. I think that's pretty much... That was bad. Now this, someone said that there was not a perfect comparison. I'm sorry. I'm going to dispute that. That was perfect. Oh, man. That is a meme, though. I will say that. That picture should stay. All right, so I don't think there's going to be any Unlucky for us, we're not going to have a verdict today. So let me just see some...
Hey everybody, Larry.
Does he play the video? I hope he doesn't.
Hey Lawton here. I'm going to be doing a video today on the case that's going on, and everybody's been asking me to do this. Is the Rittenhouse, the Kyle Rittenhouse trial in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Can someone explain to me why are people making this about a race thing? Because I know the riots were racially motivated, but what wasn't like every single person involved white? I mean, that's confusing to me. Why does everything have to be about fucking race? I don't understand. The fact the prosecutor attempted to use Kyle's invocation of his fifth right as implicit guilt is disgusting. You pretty much killed the fucking, like, to me, maybe to you, it's not a big deal, but that's because you're not a lawyer. Again, as a lawyer, you need to defend the fifth. You need to defend every single right, of course, but the fifth is just something that is universal. You can't pick that up and be like, it's an admission of guilt. That's, I don't know, man. That's just not even an amateur move. You just can't do that. You really can't do that. They were all white. So I don't know, why was it racially, like people trying to make this racial? Excuse me. So here's a law in Wisconsin. A minor can legally carry a long gun without a permit, but cannot own it until 18. So Rittenhouse, that's interesting. So Rittenhouse carrying a borrowed rifle was fully legal. So even that. All right. All right. All right. That's I didn't know that. So there you go. Not even the lesser charges.
Before I get started, I'll always ask you, please check us out on member programs, YouTube, our merch. Check out Gangster Redemption. You're going to learn. This
man is making moves. First and foremost, he really does look like, if you make Michael bald, even though I'll say this, every bald guy looks the same. For myself in that situation. Oh my god, I'm sorry. This is a little bit of a side. But you gotta see this. You gotta fucking see this. I don't know who posted this originally. Oh man, that was like this meme of guys leaving. I think it was Donut Media on Facebook that had this. But even though this is like the modified version, there's a full one. Oh, there you go. That's the one, man. Look at this. So the caption is 2.25 miles of lives being lived, all packed into one truck. Look at this. I fucking love this thing. We all do look alike. Look at that. It's fucking hilarious, man. Look at that's fucking beautiful. Yeah, I mean, you can say that, all right? I'm not gonna be offended. We all look alike. I understand. Doesn't have to be a resident for that law to apply. That's interesting, Mary D.
Keeps getting at me as he is.
All this is external information to me. So
I don't know what I would charge him, convict him of. In fact, I would let him walk. And you know, people are going to be in outrage. Well, he killed 3 people. He killed 2 people and wounded another. Oh, Lord, how can you do that? You know, he killed somebody. He went there intentionally. That's all true. But him being an idiot and going there doesn't make the charge stick because of self-defense. You know, the law is very clear on self-defense. You have the law on your side and you have the right to defend yourself. That's fact. We're not talking about defending a piece of property. We're not talking about you instigating it. We're talking about defending it. Now, what I mean by that is, in the one guy, okay, the 2 people who died, that's why there's more charges than just one. And that's always happens in case you'll have like, the guy will have first-degree murder 2 times because he killed 2 people in some states. And then he gets convicted on both, and you know, he can get 2 life sentences. And people always ask, well, why is that?
You pretty much
well,
said
if
it
you beat one of the part of that case, you still got to do the life sentence. But let's get back to him. He kills.
But yeah, I mean, I chose the perfect segment right there. That's exactly what I would say. Him being dumb, him doing something that I would never fucking do in my life. That's all true that he was a dumbass for that. But that doesn't mean that he invited fucking issues. That doesn't mean that the situation that was created upon was because he was there with a gun. Because if that's all it takes for people to completely lose their shit, then it's all is going to be on them. Like I said, right, if you like this analogy or not, I don't really care, because it is literally comparable. Someone going to a place with a certain intention, even if we presume the intention, let's say with the case of the girls, like I said, of presenting themselves in a certain way, not in a fucking million years, what a woman wears or even behaves, as long as she's not directly affecting you, like twerking on you or some shit, but as long as, like, she's not doing that shit, not in a million years she will ever be at fault for wearing a skirt, for wanting to fuck, or whatever the fuck she might have as intention. When you create a situation, when you approach someone and you do the first move, that's on you. And whatever she does to react, I mean, if she cuts your balls off, I don't really care. I really don't fucking care, right? So creating this whole thing of, like, he created a situation by carrying the gun, no. Considering that other people also had guns, apparently, with handguns. I mean, is that going to be a difference? Just because someone's shooting a 9mm, not a 5.56, a rifle cartridge, is it going to change? No, of course it's not going to change. It's still a fucking firearm. In fact, the other ones are concealed. This guy was showing the gun, like, hey, I'm armed. Don't approach me, right? The other guys, not so much. They had guns concealed. Not saying that they were wrong for that. I'm just saying, when it comes to causing issues, at least he was transparent. You want to talk about that? He was transparent. A 17-year-old got somebody to buy a gun for him, then he went to another state and killed 2 people. Even when you describe it like that, it doesn't seem like... Again, you could be like, oh, the gun shouldn't have been in his possession, whatnot. Those are the charges for possession, not the charges for murder, right? The gun was in Wisconsin. Is that what WI means? I'm sorry, I'm a foreigner, so... As someone slowly becoming bald, what advice do you have for accepting baldness? Just accept it. I think use aftershave. This is pretty obvious, man, but it makes your head shine. It's a cool thing that I like about it. Honestly, man, I don't know, man. Accepting baldness, just accept it. I don't know. You can't go wrong with going bald. You know what I'm saying? Like, some girls might lose interest in you. Oh, big deal. There's going to be a lot more that will like it. So... Hey, bald dude, mate, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, Joel? I'm doing great, man. I hope you're doing great, too. Yeah, Wisconsin, I'm sorry. Sometimes you gotta do baby wars with me, all right? So, this is not gonna happen. Unfortunately, it's not gonna happen. I don't want to make my streams too long. I also have to sleep and shit like that. Guys, you already know me, all right? But I feel like I didn't watch too much stuff, so let me just bring something else. One final video or something like that. Even though, I mean, we already saw the big stuff. Yeah, you know what? I don't want to stretch this out. So thank you so much, guys. Wrong fucking thing again. Amazing. But thank you so much to everyone. Even if you disagree, you agree, whatever. I really don't care when it comes to that. But I do think when it comes to the charges of murder, right? It was self-defense. Now, if he had any kind of minor crime or whatnot happening, I don't have the information for that too much. Oh, Chrono, man, you come so late, man. Twitch representing right there. Sorry so much. If you want to watch this, though, I think I'm going to release this to public on YouTube. You have the channel there on Twitch. If you want to check it out. I'm so sorry for missing, but it's late. I'm working and shit tomorrow, so gotta go to bed. So if a literal 17-year-old goes to a Trump rally, feels threatened, and then kills a couple of people, that's okay? No, because that would be action, not a reaction. Because feeling threatened is not the same thing as being threatened. Feeling something, like I can feel offended, but that's on me. That's my perception. So if I do something based on that, that's me being a dumbass. So yes, you will be charged if you feel like, if you take something subjective and you make it objective. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of trouble in there. But that was not, them chasing Kyle is not a case of, you know, we speculated that he would be harmed. Like, no. But I would say plenty of fucking evidence there. Wasn't early onset of balding linked to higher sperm count? Hey, Mary, you might be doing something, even though I'm not going to use it. Fuck that shit, but I guess so. I don't know. Maybe. It's like going blind, you know, you hear better, even though I think that's a myth. But maybe I'm compensating, who knows? Freaking facts, I love you, man. Chrono, you got so late. I wish I had one more hour. It was Friday or something, but I really wish you were here earlier, man. Sorry about that. I do not make the Twitch. I can schedule shit on Twitch. I'm forgetting about that. So I'm gonna do that. Also, with the gaming shit, maybe Twitch will always be for gaming. Honestly, Twitch will be for every stream that I make. But this channel will be for commentary, and then I will set the gaming channel. Don't worry about it. What am I holding? Tic Tacs. Is that before you start thinking this is Vicodin or some shit? That boy was crying. That shit was funny. I mean, if it was true or not. Here you go. Feeling something is a very different thing than the reality. Yeah. Besides, hold on, feeling threatened is not the same as being. I just said what I wrote. You know, common sense. You know, usually when I stop Abin Preach video and they say exactly the same shit as I did, you know that's common sense. Now, what can I say? I mean, I hate ending streams, man. I love talking with y'all, but I really have to go. Oh yeah, I saw this shit as well. There was a... Okay, we can watch this one. So this has nothing to do mostly with Kyle. But there was one juror that had a great idea to make a fucking Jacob Blake, I said that properly, joke. For those who might not know, I hope nothing graphic pops. Alright, so... Jacob S. Blake, a 29. Now, I really don't know about anything about this case, if it was justified or not, I don't know. A 29-year-old man, old black man was shot and seriously injured by a police officer. It was a thing that's escalated the Kenosha, Wisconsin riots.
Okay, the reason I asked you to calm down was there was a... I was told that while you were being escorted to the car the other day, that you began to tell a joke about the shooting of Jacob Blake, and I wanted to see if is that accurate or not. It is. Okay. The
motherfucker did it on purpose, man. Like, I don't want to do this jury duty. God damn it, man. Let me make a joke about a dead man. It's gonna be worth it. Hey, man, I can't dispute that tactic. It worked.
Are you comfortable repeating what the joke was?
Oh, shit.
Or do you want to just leave it alone? I'm going to tell you that I spoke about... well, I guess I'll hear from Mr. Did you want to finish what you were saying? I will tell you that I've talked quite a bit about public confidence in the outcome of the trial, and regardless of whether the issue is as grave as you presented it in terms of inner feelings, it is clear that the appearance of bias is present, and it would seriously undermine the outcome of the case. So that in itself would be sufficient cause for discharge, but if you want to expand on that, you're welcome to.
No, Your Honor.
Did you want to say anything, defense?
If number 7's unwilling to repeat it, what it was, I think we're at a disadvantage, and I suppose his unwillingness could be taken in the worst light. So based on the unwillingness at this point, I think it's probably the proper course.
Okay. All right. I think the best thing under the circumstances, I'm going to dismiss you from the jury, sir. And we do thank you for taking the time to come down here. Thank you.
My feelings is that it was nothing to do with the case. It wasn't anything to do with
this is because he was shamed. Like, I don't know. It's one of those situations. Like, you know, it's a bias. Even if you think like you should make jokes or whatnot, it's a bias. You can, as a juror, as part of the jury, you can't be.
His 7 charges?
No. Here, and I have not. I've not stated that you have. It's not, you know, one of the things that I have to do when I have to make judgments, I try to confine my judgments to the things I have to judge and not to forming opinions about other people other than that. So I don't want to get into that. The point I'm making is that the public needs to be confident that this is a fair trial.
Yeah. So it's just to delete. It's not even that he did something wrong, but I mean, you just can't have someone cracking jokes and be in the jury. It's... What side am I on? In the side of him being innocent for self-defense, but also on the side that, you know, he wasn't a hero and it was pretty stupid what he did. So that's where my side is. I'm in fear for my country. Everyone is polarized and a lot of people are radicalized. I've never seen the US like this. I think it's mostly because, you know, you have more media now. And media does make money on conflict. So even if people really aren't fighting, the media will make it seem that way. Don't forget about that. I feel on that mark, it's very difficult navigating through these waters. Media feeds on extremism. I did not see that comment. All right, believe me when I say this. But it's pretty, yeah, it encourages polarization. There you go, blinded. Common sense. Once I didn't see the comment. That's exactly what I'm gonna say. It's profitable. Conflict is profitable. So thank you so much, boys and gals. All right. This one. No, stop. I always forget that shit. All right. Too much light. True blind. There you go. So thank you so much, everyone. All right. I'll see you next time. You already know, Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's when I do streams. Even though, I don't know, man, I feel like taking one day, just because I want to make more videos now on gaming because they're timeless, and focus on these. But I don't know, let's keep it until it's rolling, because honestly, it's 1 hour, it's not too bad. It is a video that I put on a channel, not always, but sometimes, or most times. But yeah, that's pretty much Chronos. Sorry so much for, you know, you're representing Twitch, but I'll always make it available on Twitch, by the way. And I'm sorry it was a little bit late, but that's pretty much it. You have the channel to follow. See, Chrono will respond so quickly, man. Twitch doesn't have any fucking lag. It's amazing. But thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you next time.